Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, aka Tony. Here's what's on my nearest and dearest and co-host in the building. I got DJ Doey Fresh in the building. I got my dog Mateo in the building. And I got my dog Pucho in the building today. Here joining us today is a special guest all the way from Australia, Stephen Beaumont from the Great Game Debate Podcast. How you doing, man?
Yeah, going good, lads. I'm so stoked to be here. I've been a fan of yours for, 50-some episodes, so ready to get amongst it and get a little bit saucy.
I would like to say, first and foremost, he's one of our best viewers / fans. Next to maybe Ted Lee. But
Ted
he is on point, and I really appreciate you, Steve.
Yeah,
Stevie B.
We don't got to be comparing the quality.
Yeah, let's not compare.
We have some super fans out there, and Steven's in the list of super fans, right? Catching all the episodes and all that.
Listen.
Ted Lee's in there. Ted Lee's wild. So he be showing love.
No. It's a competition, bitch. Let's get those likes up. First of all, let's get those fucking likes up, all right? If you are a real, true fan, say it in the comment section. Throw it in there. We're in there. We're looking. We want to see it.
We're reading. Everything comes our way. But yeah, Steven, explain a little bit about your podcast and, who's on it to our fans so that way they don't know.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, so, the Great Game Debate, we started as just a Discord, just doing game clubs and shit. And then it just developed into this idea about a podcast. It started out pretty rough, and it's still a work in progress, but mostly
Speak to me quickly about the game clubs. What is this? What do you mean?
Well, literally just like, one of the biggest ones we had was like Last of Us Part 2. When that dropped, we all played through it. We did 2 separate podcasts on the first half and the second half of the game. And we had 10 or so people just chatting about it. And so it's pretty much just like a spoiler cast for people that, want that outlet. So that's what our first idea was originally, was just that outlet to talk about spoilers and stuff in a safe environment.
That's very cool. I did not know that. That's interesting.
And when you say a game club, you mean like a book club? Like everybody... everybody's playing the same game together at the same time, right?
Yeah,
I like that concept a lot.
We had one where it was just, we absolutely got such good traction on Twitter, mainly because of our old co-host Wes. He just had a massive outreach on Twitter, and we got about 20 people in the rotation on the day of just doing a small indie game called The Last Campfire, and that was just it was awesome. It was just fun.
That's
to talk
awesome.
About.
Did he like or hate it?
I think everyone liked it. I know someone gave it a 10 actually, and most people were around the 7 and up level. So yeah,
Very nice.
Try not
Shout
to play
out to
with
Wes.
trash. Yeah, hell yeah. He made this all happen. So yeah, and I wouldn't be here because I wouldn't have met Crystal, who then got me onto you guys. So
Nice.
yeah, so no, it's good shit. And then so usually we do a debate. Realistically, anything that the guest, if we've got a guest on, is interested in, so any type of video games, we'll debate. We just have lots of fun. Like sometimes we'll do like shotgun versus sniper, or bloody which is the best Zelda game or horror game or whatever it is, and it can devolve into stupidity very quickly. Like it recently did. We just did Kingdom Hearts 1 versus Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was just absolutely hilariously a nightmare, and it was great.
I really felt that episode. I just wanted to be known.
Yeah. Shout outs to Caden. We really felt that. But yeah, then we do a pitch. We do a blind pitch, which is kind of like a Shark Tank. You blind pitch a game that you've been playing and see if people will buy it based on your pitch without telling them what it is. And we used to pretty much always say, oh, it's free on Game Pass, and that'd get like an instant sale. So now we don't say whether or not it's on Game Pass, just to see if someone will pick it up. But yeah, it's fun to troll people with a really shit game, or actually say a really good game. And then we usually play some games and stuff. But yeah, it's just a chill, tight podcast. Try and cut it around an hour and a half. And yeah.
And how long have you guys been doing the podcast? Like, you guys started Discord, you said, and then now you moved into actual. Like, how long did it take for you to do that transition?
The podcast has been going for almost 2 years, and the Discord is almost 3 years. So yeah, It was about a year in. and a couple of the lads jumped on a mate's podcast, Jimmy Good, who does critical reviews, and yeah, so they jumped on that and then got the bug, and yeah, so here we are.
It's a fantastic community too. Like there's so much chatter in their Discord. It's amazing. There's always people in the voice chat playing something together. Like I keep meaning to be more active, but you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've got a whole different bunch of communities in there. It's really cool because we've got people playing D&D that may not chat like text chat, but they get all their their camaraderie out just playing like D&D or freaking playing Fortnite or whatever they're doing. And so yeah, and a bunch of people do Twitch streams through our Discord and stuff. So yeah, it's just cool.
Now I'm assuming your co-hosts all live in Australia with you, correct? Or no?
No, I'm the only Aussie. Yeah, no, I just started chatting after one of our game clubs with Jonah, who I didn't know. I was like super nervous to jump in because I'm like, I don't know how many people have known each other for so long, and then just decided to jump into one, give it a listen and stuff. I think I might have been talking about Final Fantasy VII or something like that, and then yeah, just started chatting, getting more involved in there, just chat, and it became my second home because I just prefer it to Twitter, like just having actual conversations with mates. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome, man. And I see you're a Zelda fan with the hat, right?
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, get amongst. Yeah, no, it's in my it's about my third favorite video game series, probably, easily.
Damn, that's awesome. So, damn, you guys been doing it for 3 years. That's impressive, man.
Yeah, so I was again another one of those COVID things, 2020 or whatever, or not 2019. Yeah.
That's the first thing I noticed about you guys was how active your Discord was. I was like, just seeing how many like different channels existed and how many different, like every single channel has like a different set of people like chatting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
like the level of activity in there was insane. So in my mind, I've always been like, all right, we need to like build up a Discord. We need to figure out how these guys did it and like, build something similar because I think the community is super cool. I'm in there. I mostly stick to like I'll be in there talking about anime or manga. There's usually the channels I be chatting in, but I think it's dope.
I've been making a little bit more of an effort to be more active, especially since I've joined as one of your other hosts now.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. Yeah, Mateo, I actually stole one of the 1UP members because we had such a good time with Mateo, and yeah, we've had a good relationship off camera for a fair while. So yeah, so Mateo's joined the crew. So now there's no excuse for any 1UP podcast watchers. Come on over to GGD and check us out.
Absolutely.
Yep, that is right. Now you did mention, you said shotgun and snipers. I'm a little curious. Which one did you side with there?
It wasn't my debate. It was Jonah versus I can't remember
I don't remember his name. He was a reviewer. He was
a mate of ours. It's a reviewer. And Jonah was repping shotguns. It's hard. I rep shotguns, but I use sniper rifles because I'm a bitch.
Whoa! That makes you a bitch.
Yeah, it does because you're hiding. You're hiding. Whereas a shotgun, close and personal. It's a relationship with a shotgun.
You
kill someone with a shotgun. You meant it. You felt it. There's a connection there, and the sniper rifle is so lifeless. It's like a sterile relationship.
Get out of here! You must have never
shotgun
seen.
Shotgun is passionate. There's fires.
Yeah.
You're in the mix. You're in the mix of everything that's happening to use that shotgun.
He's never seen my gameplay. That's why.
Just to interject, because I knew he was gonna say this. We played a game of Battlefield right before this recording because Tony said
I wasn't sniping though.
He said that Dike, everyone says that Doey can get a better score than him on Battlefield, or something like that.
Let's see about that.
I just want to let you guys know.
You're the squad leader. Of course you're going to get more points just by clicking fucking sectors.
Right.
But anyways.
We don't need to rehash. The point is Doey got a higher score. We can rehash this at another time and place. Doey, you did say that you had a list of questions for my man here, right?
Yeah, I got a list of questions. I wanted to know a few things because there's some stuff on the pod that we like to talk about. There was one section that was very popular for us called Barber Wars. And I just wanted to know if you've ever experienced this with a barber in Australia, because barbers in neighborhoods that we've come from are very protective of their clients. They want you better not go sit in somebody else's chair. God forbid you go sit in somebody else's chair. Stuff like that. I wanted to know, what's the experience in Australia?
Yeah, so I actually commented on that video because the Australian experience is so different. We only recently really popped off with barber culture, mostly like, obviously you had like the hipster culture that led into like, all the freaking all the post freaking hardcore guys that are either baristas or have become barbers and stuff. So like that's only been recently. So beforehand, a barber experience in Australia was like the low rent, like, oh, go get a your $10 cut or whatever from this dude that has like glaucoma and is just hoping to hit your head. And you're gonna see like a rat like run through the background or something like that. Whereas like, so in Australia, most small towns, like where I live in small town, it's hair salons. Like I've only had women cut my hair pretty much like my entire life, So and I only ever would stay with someone if they cut my hair well. Otherwise, and I never loved my hair and I don't have any anymore. But when I did, like I was getting from really good like hair salons, like different colors and shit, like the frosted tips of the late 90s, and then like going into like I didn't get blue black, but I got the really dark brown black because I was at a Christian high school, so you couldn't have like colors, but you could have like natural colors. So so to get my real scene phase, like I went for the darkest like brown that I could, and with the straight hair with the eye covering and all that sort of stuff.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So no barber wars. You guys are lucky on that then.
Yeah, the all women barbers or hair dressers, whatever.
Hairdressers, yeah.
It's so interesting because where the neighborhoods we grew up, so sexist. You couldn't get your hair cut by a woman. It'd be like, oh shit, you're going to a woman to get a haircut?
That shit about to be fucked up.
There's nothing better than before getting like your hair like colored or whatever, is going into the rinse and having someone with long fucking nails like massage your hair. It's that is like the epitome of like platonic edging. Like
fire. Yo, I gotta completely agree with that, bro.
What's the other question?
I'm bald too, but I'm gonna still go for it. I'm gonna just have them wash my bald
Yeah,
head. You gotta. Okay, here's something people do.
My
You need a
scalp.
shampoo. You need to shampoo your bald head. Okay, there's oils and things. You gotta wash your head. It's not like you just don't got hair and you get to just be like, all right. You're gonna be like the people that don't wash their legs now. They're like, oh, the water will rinse it off.
It all goes down, dude.
You gotta wash your head.
What's the other question, though?
I have a few more. During the pandemic, a lot of things weren't available. I don't know how it went down in Australia, but in America, a lot of things ceased and stopped, and you couldn't really go out to bars. You couldn't go out to clubs. What did you find during the pandemic that you have kept with you, or maybe something from the past that you used to do to have fun?
Yeah, well, Discord, like literally, like and unfortunately, the sad reality is like, drinking at home by yourself, like, or drinking at home on a Discord call, like. But yep. I never had great internet growing up. Like we lived on, I guess, a hobby farm, you could call it. So we had terrible internet. And so I never like learnt about online gaming until I had like a PS3. I think literally the first game I played with a mate while he was up in Sydney was the co-op post DLC of Far Cry 4 on PS4. Like, it was the first time I had like headphones on, like actually talking to someone. I'd played like RuneScape and shit before that, but yeah. So yeah, for me it was literally I was so glad that Discord came along, that it popped up in my feed, because otherwise I would have just been a complete hermit. Like because just a mate that was down the road I just couldn't go see, and we both had kids at the exact same time. We're a month apart, and then COVID hit. and we just never got to see each other, and we literally lost connection.
That's
So,
terrible. Yeah, that's
rough,
rough.
man.
It happens,
another
though.
question. Another question in that same vein. See, in the U.S., I don't know if this is worldwide or not, but we had a wet wipe and toilet paper crisis at the beginning of COVID. Did the similar thing happen in Australia?
Yeah, and I was working at a supermarket at the time. I was managing a liquor store, and like we would see it come in, and we'd just be like, cool, we'll wait till the end of our shift. There'd be nothing left by the end of the shift. We'd see a pallet come in, and it'd be gone by the end. So I was buying whatever the bougie freaking toilet paper was that was like $10 for like 4 rolls or whatever, because it was what you could get. But like, it's funny because I'm still like, where I'm living, which is about 100 kilometers from like, you know, the multicultural center like of Melbourne. It's still quite homogenous. So it was very funny to see a lot of the basics of like, you know, meat and veg go out of stock, but I could go and get all the Mexican like stuff that I ever wanted. So it's like, because my wife and I are always like, yeah, we'll just make whatever, and when that's the option, it's like, sick, we're gonna make tortillas. And,
the
you know?
Hispanic aisle was full. We're like, yo, we're just going with it at this point.
Yeah,
Same experience in Austin, honestly. The Asian markets and the Mexican food stores, they still had full stock of everything, dude. There was no issues if you just went to those stores.
yeah.
That's
Tacos
pretty
and
dope.
stir fry every day.
So I also got a question. The big thing when people say Australia, I picture everything that can fucking possibly kill you. From spiders to kangaroos to all types of shit, to snakes. Like, how often do you run into these animals or these creatures or whatever? Like, how often, like, do you see a fucking spider crawling across your room sometimes? Like, is it that dangerous, or is it just a fucking blown out thing?
He's got an entire room full of spiders right now. He just doesn't go into those rooms
Yeah.
anymore.
No, like, well, I can see a spider web hanging down. So, like, there's a little silk rope hanging down over in the corner there. Like we've got white walls and stuff, so we don't really have to clean them until you see, like, dead bugs. So it's all pretty chill. Like, but yeah, no, the spiders are definitely the biggest one. Like, luckily we don't have as many huntsmans, which are the big fuckers.
Oh, yeah.
In our house, but we've got like redbacks in the shed, which are like as deadly as like our black widows.
Shit.
So yeah, there are those, unfortunately, and yeah, one of my dogs got bitten by a snake. But we've got more houses around us now than we did like 10 years ago. So
They're all leaving.
A bit more chill now, yeah. So they'd be pushed out. But yeah, kangaroos. Yeah, I smashed my car on a kangaroo like last year. That was,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, they're worse than like deer because, like, you know, they move just so erratically, and sometimes they'll just sit on the side of the road, no dramas. Other times they'll just jump straight out, and you just don't have time to swerve.
Holy shit!
And they're buff as hell too. You ever see the kangaroo flexing?
I don't think it's be
They're
fun.
lean as fuck. It sucks because I actually had to put one down because in a ute or like a small like truck, I hit one with the back, sideswiped it and broke its leg, so I had to fucking put it down.
Oh,
But
shit.
I had
How'd
to
you put it down?
Well, that was the unfortunate thing because I was in this utility vehicle, but it had a shovel, and I'm like, sweet, but it was a really lightweight shovel, and it fucking took me away. It was, I'm a pacifist. I fucking hate, like, I used to shoot guns as a kid, and I hate it. I don't like killing things, and so that was the fucking worst. Like, yeah.
Well,
Like, it was better than leaving
sorry
it
I
just to
laughed.
die. Like, it, like, you know.
You know what's wild is not even 40 minutes before we started this recording, I had just finished an Australian horror movie called Sissy, and they hit a kangaroo at the beginning of that movie, and they have to finish it off. They have to back the car over the kangaroo to kill it.
Now, are any of them like kangaroos or whatever animals? Are they protected where you can't? They are, right? Like, you can't.
Yeah, you pretty much just have to have a license. Like, yeah, because we have gun laws in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pretty much have to have a license to shoot them on your property as well. It's pretty much, if you have a certain amount of property and it's like, I'm shooting for pest control, cool, you can get your license and shoot whatever's on your property for pest control. But usually there is an upper limit of, like, you know, I don't know how many it is, but you've got to get the license for it. But then they have to do cullings anyway because they can just breed like freaking rabbits, as well.
Damn.
Okay. So there is a hunting culture there, or no?
Yeah, but most people like to do it more physically because most people that are into hunting use hunting dogs and just running and sticking pigs and shit like that. They go all up north into the rainforest and stuff, and it's all fit. People that have to run freaking 4 kilometers to go freaking chase down their dog that's chased down a pig. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That is pretty interesting.
I don't know, the gators up there are also like crazy too. You guys got like seasons where you can hunt gators because of just how much they're growing over there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really dealt with them in my life because again that's the north of Australia, but the saltwater and freshwater crocs, they're pretty pretty bad.
I want to go back to your shed for a second. Do you feel danger when you go into that shed, or do you just go in?
Well, I don't feel danger, but I am an arachnophobe, so I usually if I haven't been into the shed for a bit, I just go in there with 2 bombs and go let them off, and then go in the next day, and I've got gym equipment in there that just hasn't seen use since kids, so one day I want to get in there.
All right, for my last question, since I'm a fat ass, what are some popular junk foods or popular places to eat where you grew up?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I guess if you're thinking about there's not too many Australian centric fast foods. We just didn't have that culture. Pretty much everything is whatever the most popular things were from America. So yeah, growing up, but the things you were looking forward to were the smorgasbord restaurants. So because I think Pizza Hut in the States would do an all-you-can-eat, yeah?
Yes.
So yeah, they had a place called...
Oh, so you're talking about buffets.
Yeah, or buffets, yeah. So there was this place called Smorgies that was on a pier out in a place called Geelong, which is on the beach. And yeah, so that was just you go there, and as a 10-year-old, 5-year-old kid or whatever, it's just you go straight to the ice cream machine and you just freaking pour an ice cream and grab watermelon and shit like that. You don't care about any actual food that has any sort of nutrition. It's just whatever has the highest dose of fructose or sucrose, But yeah, and then there was also Sizzler, which was the same and just terrible quality food.
You guys had Sizzlers.
The Sizzler was the shit.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think it lasted outside of the 90s, though. I think it was dead by the end of the 90s.
Same.
For us, it was 90s. Yo, Sizzler.
Sizzler. Even as a kid, they used to have the dinosaur chicken nuggets, yo. That shit.
Oh, the dino nuggets.
Just the dino nuggets just hit different, right?
Yes.
I gotta admit.
So, all right. In a similar vein, because I'm not super familiar with what is Australian cuisine like. The only thing I know is that you guys call ketchup tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Which is
so we've got pretty much a pastiche of what came over to Australia during the gold rush. So Chinese food was our biggest restaurant. If you were in any small town in Australia, there'll be a Chinese restaurant. So that because of a whole lot of Chinese immigrants came over during the gold rush, and then also we've got a lot of the UK influence, so meat pies and shit like that. So yeah, so a meat pie or a Chico roll, but then also going to have, and then also what you call dim sum in the States. We have all individual names, and that you can get stuff at convenience stores just called dim sims, which are actually just this pouch of meat and veg that you can either steam them or you can fry them, and we put soy sauce with them, and they go off. But yeah, so and then the Chico roll is obviously a spring roll is, but it's a bigger version of that. You cover it in chicken salt, and it's full of just gross chicken gravy meat, but it hits so well. When you're seedy and hungover, it just hits really, really well. Yeah, otherwise, it's just going to KFC and getting a zinger box after you've had a night on the town is to go.
Yeah, we used to we had this place here in Austin called Boomerangs, and they made just hand pies. and holy shit, they were the best thing in the world to eat while you were drinking beers. They were just so perfect and filling.
Meat pie and a beer is like top shelf. Yeah.
Very nice.
So you said something interesting there I've never heard of. All right, I don't know if you guys caught it, but chicken salt? People call me a chicken killer, okay? I love me some fried chicken. I've never heard of no chicken salt.
That's the other thing that I did share with Mateo a while back through a Crystal tweet or something. But, like, she said she was having fish and chips, and I was like, do you guys have potato cakes over there? And so, like, that's, like, it's like a thin layer of, like, scalloped potato that's, been mashed up and reconstituted, but then it's battered. So you got this disc, a golden potato disc, and that's fucking absolutely awesome. But yeah, chicken salt is literally, it's just like some sort of salt with flavorings, like you'd have on seasoning. Chicken flavored ramen.
Yes.
Like, so it's almost like that mixed with salt almost, like, and it's awesome. You put it on everything.
Fire.
All right, I need to check this out.
Fire.
That sounds.
And whatever the fuck this potato disc is.
Yeah, potato cakes.
I imagine it looking like a McDonald's hash brown, but just tasting better.
Or deep fried potato scallops is what like Northerners call it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, boys, for our first topic, what video game did you play that made you into a gamer? That made you say, you know what, this shit is what I like. This is what I want to do. I'll start off with you, Steven.
Yeah, it's a really tricky question because I'd phases of playing video games. It was like I was really into video games, like with the N64, and then kind of fell off. And then probably the first time that it was like, shit, these are good, was my mate got me a Wii for my 21st, and we're playing Wii bowling, all that sort of shit. But the first game I bought, because I always knew I wanted it, because of I'd rented the games and stuff, was Twilight Princess on Wii.
Let's go.
And like I hadn't come out as a gamer to my my then girlfriend, who's now my wife, and so I've got like this a freaking a TV set up in the spare bedroom of our unit that we were going to during university, and like I dumped like 50 hours, like not straight, but over like 4 days or something into freaking Twilight Princess. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking awesome. I really want to keep playing video games.
You did this secretly without her realizing you were putting 50 hours into this game?
Not secretly, but when she asked how much have you been playing that, I definitely lied.
I thought you were faking a bathroom break, and you'd go into the back room and play a little bit more.
It's happened so many times. We were renting another place, and it had a back room where it was my games room, and it was post university. I just had a bunch of mates, and we'd just get drunk, and usually we'd just play Mario Kart 64, just all the time, and then I was watching. Oh, that's right. My mate came around and showed me Arkham Asylum. And I was like, oh, shit, this looks so good. And
did
so
you like Diddy Kong Racing at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did, but I don't like the drifting as much. The drifting doesn't appease me. But yeah, so I bought the PS3 and had it in this back room and never told my girlfriend. And then, like, I was just like, you know what? I'm playing Red Dead Redemption. This game looks amazing. I've got to show her. So I snuck it out to the main room and just started playing it. And then she's sort of like, what's that? And it's like, oh, my PS3. What? When did you buy that? And I'm like, oh, ages ago. What are you talking about? Like, I've had this for ages. It's no big deal. Like, I just spent like $500 on this freaking game system that I probably didn't have.
Oh my god, that's epic. I also spent $500 on my PS3. That's incredible. $550 with tax.
Whoa.
Yeah. That American tax is a motherfucker.
That's insane. That's cool though, man. You just kind of hide your gaming love that you just found, and it's just like, I've been had it. That's awesome. Now that made me think too now, because it had to be around, I think, Nintendo 64, man, and it had to be GoldenEye. I think that's when it hit me. It was just getting that golden gun, doing the just shooters.
Was it the multiplayer or
yeah,
single
the
player?
multiplayer. The multiplayer is what did it for me. Single player was
So
awesome.
the competitive.
Yeah. That's where the shooting love.
Birthed the toxicity.
Yes. I was toxic. Bro.
Yo,
Younger me was the level of toxic was just beyond the Modern Warfare Xbox lobby kids. Like it was.
Tony looks like a real Odd Job kind of guy to me.
I was gonna say he sits on the character that's next to Odd Job, like Jaws or something, and then it's like, yeah, no odd jobs, and then everyone selects and is like switch back.
I remember it used to be a race to get to Odd Job when you were playing with 4 players. Everyone would race.
The second shortest guy was Valentine, so it'd be like everybody's running for Odd Job. You're like, I ain't get him, but you're going straight for Valentine.
Yeah,
in Nightfire, they actually added knickknacks, so they had a shorter character than Oddjob. But the coolest thing about Oddjob in Nightfire was he actually had his bowler cap as a unique weapon, and it was a one-hit kill with a headshot. It was fucking cool.
Is that a GameCube or a Nintendo 64?
That was GameCube, yeah.
Oh my god, fire! Yo, I love Nightfire. What a good game.
I never owned the GameCube, sadly. I missed out on a great console, I think.
Super underrated console.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was also exactly what it was advertised as. It was a cube that you gamed on. The thing looked like a box.
You had the handle, so you had superior grabbing technology.
You can beat somebody's ass with that cube. They get crazy on you. Wow, get the fuck out of here.
I remember one time I was going up the stairs with it, and I was holding it, and I fell forward, and I just went, landed on the
I bet it survived. I bet it booted up just fine.
It did. It was the same one that you needed to put a book on in order to get the CD to go down enough. It was.
And over time, the book trick stopped working as well. So we started stacking more and more books. It become like the stack of shit on Doey's GameCube just to get games to work. It was ridiculous.
No, but yeah, that's what that game on 64. That pretty much turned me out, I guess, to gaming. And then after that, the second biggest level is SOCOM on PlayStation. Like I've spent, I don't even know how many hours on that game growing up as a kid. Like crazy. I had the maps all printed out. I had exit points, all types of shit. I had a clan of 200 fucking people. I was really running that fucking game. And then, yeah, life hit me. And then I stopped playing and then gradually started getting back into it again. But yeah, no, man, gaming is definitely, it hits everybody differently. That's why it's like it's always good to hear who and how you got into it, because everybody has a different story. But
I got a couple.
I think I had 3. I think that I had like 3 big ones. Like the first one was original Super Mario Bros. It came on that dual disc. It had Duck Hunt on one, and then it had Super Mario Bros. You could boot into. And that was like my first gaming experience, and it was all right. It didn't like grab me. I wasn't like, this is the shit I want to do all day, every day, forever. Like it was a fun thing. But the 2 game changers after that were probably Super Mario World and not Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana came along before Chrono Trigger as far as like the ones that I played, and Secret of Mana was game changing for me. It was, oh shit, games can have a story. They can have emotions that they push through. You had the option to play with multiple people and go through this quest together. There was there was armor and all this shit. It's just all these things that like just hit these like really happy points for me.
One of the first games that used like real-time stamina too.
Yes, and there was a little bit of a skill level to it. Like you could just like hack and slash at everything, but or you could time your power shots and you could use magic to actually weaken people, and it was an interesting experience. I didn't realize gaming could be that at the time,
And you could play co-op.
Yeah, the co-op was a game changer. I had that thing too on my Super Nintendo where I could plug in 3 controllers to it, so I could play with my cousin and my brother at the same time, and all 3 of us would run through Secret of Mana. It's good times.
Wow, nice. I did not know that the I didn't know the Super Nintendo had a multi-tap.
It did.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
PS1 multi-tap.
Yeah, PS1 multi-tap was crazy, but yeah, on the Super Nintendo, the only games I remember playing on multi-tap, like I remember we played NBA Jam. Yep. So you could play 4 players. You could control all the players on the court. Yeah, that was crazy. And And then there was like some, I don't know, maybe like a Madden game or something. But I hated those football games on the Super Nintendo. They suck.
It's interesting to note what your going around to a mate's place party games was, because obviously I had the Nintendo 64, so going around to a mate's place was for the PlayStation, and it was Worms Armageddon for me. Like, that was the best party game, because Crash Bash kind of sucks compared to Mario Party.
Yeah.
And most, I don't know, for me, like Siphon Filter and stuff just didn't, all those multiplayer games just felt tacked on. Like, so like for me, the PlayStation was, and even like, yeah, Tony Hawk, because you could only play horse and stuff. So it just felt like it was more of a single player experience, the PlayStation.
The one on Xbox for me was Fusion Frenzy. It was
In the
so
balls?
fucking good. Yeah, the
Like
little
rolling
ball
around the
game.
balls.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, that game had a lot of fun mini games.
My cousin had a Nintendo 64, so we were all about Mario Kart, and also the Madden 64, whatever the first Madden game was that came out on Nintendo 64. All about that. My uncle would come into my cousin's bedroom and be like, "You guys playing some football?" And he'd sit down and he'd play with us all night.
Yeah, I definitely loved some good PS2 WWF games and stuff like that.
Ooh, we're gonna get into a entire sidebar if we're talking about wrestling games for the N64. But real quick, there was a NHL Wayne Gretzky game that I would rent from Blockbuster an insane amount of times. It was the only hockey experience I've ever had. But Wayne Gretzky will always have my heart.
I actually have a poster of his saying with Michael Scott on it. That if you miss every shot you don't take, greatest quote ever, I think. But whatever.
So similar to Mateo, I have 3 games that kind of solidified what I loved about games. So obviously for me it was I played the Nintendo a little bit, but I was like too young. But when I played Super Mario World, it was the first game that I ever played that I was like, I need to do everything in this game, and I beat all the levels, go to Star World, do all those levels, find the secret, and change the season, all that shit. I remember doing all this shit. I wanted to get 100 on my save file.
Yeah.
And I just played the living shit out of that game. I just couldn't get enough of it. And then when Metal Gear Solid came out,
Ooh.
that's probably my all-time favorite game, by the way. But when Metal Gear Solid came out, it was really the first time that I played a game that I had to go find people that had also played the game, and I just needed to like talk to them about this experience. And like my cousin loved the game as well, and we would just talk nonstop about like who all these characters were, what were their motive, just all this shit. And I it was the first game that like really like sucked me into like this world, It also helped quite a bit that there were 2 games before Metal Gear Solid, and we had never played those. So we were like, we don't know who Solid Snake is. We don't know why he's a legend. Oh my God, he fought this guy on a minefield. That sounds crazy. Like all this stuff. There's like, they just build the game as like, part 1 or something, but it's really part 3 in the series of games. And then it was Chrono Trigger, believe it or not. So like in the early 2000s, I used to go to friend of the pod, also been on the pod, Felix. I used to go to his house all the fucking time, and he had all these emulators on his computer. And I remember playing Chrono Trigger there for the very first time. I never played Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, and just playing through this RPG. I had previously played Final Fantasy 7 and 8, but I Chrono Trigger was the first time that I really was like, okay, I really like these games. And then like all the time travel shit, and then the new game plus, and the
There's
different
layers.
endings, and all of this stuff. It was like this is all the reasons why I love this shit. And then I like double backed and like played Final Fantasy 7, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that like I played this game and didn't really give it like the full attempt or whatever. I don't know. Those 3 games in particular were very, very special to me. I still play all 3 of those games. Like every year or so, I'll boot up something and I'll find a way to play these games, and they're still good. They all hold up. I'll play Super Mario World, Chrono Trigger, Metal Gear Solid any day of the week. Like
Bucho's
I
not
love this fucking game.
Bucho's not gonna find true happiness in his life until he sees that fight in the minefield.
I want to. Okay, I want
Facts.
them to remake the first 2 Metal Gear games. This is what I really want. And then Kojima left, and the Konami situation's all kind of fucked. They'll like if Konami does this, I'll still play it. But I want them to remake those original 2 Metal Gear games that came out for like the Microsoft whatever fucking computer that nobody even owned. Just remake them in 3D, make it look beautiful. Figure out how to make these maps, all this stuff. Yeah, I want to see that fight on a minefield. I want to see some limbs get blown off. You know,
I've got a counter offer
agree.
though, Pucho. I've got a counter offer. Imagine that Solid Snake or Big Boss is a little metal ball, and then all of the pins of a pachinko machine are the mines. And so, as Solid Snake, you need to make it down through the minefield. Yeah, to beat the game.
yeah. That's that Konami shit. I remember when they came out with this trailer, this Metal Gear Solid 3. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, it's an
Yo.
HD or a remake," and blah blah. And at the end, they just kind of throw in the pachinko game, and we're like, "What?" And there's all these beautiful. They recreated all the cutscenes in this super beautiful HD at that time, and it was for a fucking pachinko machine. It was so disappointing.
It's when I realized Konami had sold out. They had there's no honor in
Yeah.
their heart.
Yeah,
But
you can,
there's
you can-
reports that they're gonna make a comeback, right? That they're saying they're
Who
hiring
is
for
saying
some
this?
the interwebs. Okay, they're hiring for some
Interwebs.
jobs in game programming and things. And Capcom did it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Konami could do it too. Who knows?
And
I
supposedly
have
they've said to the indie developers and stuff, pitch us, because now they've sold a whole heap of options for Silent Hill games, and they've literally just opened up the floodgates to say pitches because we love money and that's all we care about. So as long as you make us money, we'll sell you our shit.
All of those Silent Hill games that they like showed trailers for and teasers of, they do look interesting. They look like they might
Bro.
be something fun.
After playing Dead Space recently, I want it all. Remake it all.
Oh.
All of it. Remake
Tony,
it.
you have a shit opinion on this.
I'm
was-
tired of fucking remake. The word remake kills me. This is terrible. Why do you want to go repay for the game again? Like, Dead Space is good. Leave it where it's at.
Tony,
No.
this opinion is so hard to respect, though, when you've been playing Call of Duty for so many years. Like, Call of Duty, I would argue, is just a remake after a remake after a remake.
Go play Call of Duty, Tony. Anyways, my 3, very important. I got inspired when Pucho talked about eating Kraft American cheese slices and watching the Double Dragon movie. I was like, what experience do I have tied to a film or video games? And it's glazed donuts. I was eating glazed donuts and playing Super Mario RPG. I faked sick from school, and I knew that there was an entire case of glazed donuts. And I literally played Super Mario RPG all fucking day. I got stuck that very day. I got stuck, and it took me months to get after. So in the sunken ship in Super Mario RPG, there's this you gotta solve some clue. It says what's something that shines like the sun at the deepest part of the sea, and it was pearls, and I didn't know what the fuck it was forever. I was stumped on it, but I played until then that day, so I remembered.
Oh, nice.
Then my second memory is KOTOR on the Xbox. Playing through that experience. I think there was one session that I did over 14 hours of just nonstop. Just go to use the bathroom, eat, do something, come back, play for 14 hours, bro. And I did not stop playing that game.
That was a rental, and that's the worst rental because it's such a long game. But it's but I loved it even though it's janky as hell. It was so good.
Yeah.
See, I missed the boat on that one. I never played KOTOR at the time, and then I tried playing it after other RPGs
Yeah,
came out
it's
that had
too
done
late.
a
It's
bit
too
better,
late.
and they had better systems that made sense.
Yeah.
And then I tried to play it. I was like, this
Yeah.
doesn't make any damn sense. Everything is the jankiest way possible to do it. It's Not enjoyable.
First thing I downloaded when I got the Xbox, which was my first Xbox since the OG, was download Morrowind on Game Pass. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's get amongst it. Because that was another rental, and it just cannot hold up because it's just so obtuse. It's just incomprehensible. Like,
So foreshadowing my third pick, Oblivion.
I
Was
knew it.
when I
knew that was
really
coming.
and look at their faces. Look at them. Look at their faces. They know.
Dowie was a bunny hopping bitch.
I hated
They
that shit.
know my
Yes.
dedication to
always
Oblivion.
up your agility.
like
Some people
no
some people
other.
would say that his calves looked like Chris's biceps from Resident Evil 5.
Yes.
Well, mine got so good that when you went on those runs, like in Oblivion, you could jump over the fence and like skip like most of the sections of it.
That's exactly what I did. I got so good that I could like literally hop from the floor to the top of someone's house. Like, it was so good. I was like, yes.
That was
Very
terrible.
satisfying.
I remember I ruined that game for Doughboy as well.
Yes,
we have
you
a
did.
friend who also played the game. Shout outs to Easy. He was a mage.
No,
a
that
magic.
was Skyrim.
Oh,
that
it
was
was Skyrim?
Yeah, that was Skyrim.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
my bad. And he showed me some magical shit. I was blown away by this game, and I was just shitting on Doughboy. Like, dude, you pick shield and sword. This guy's fucking casting spells, and he didn't want nothing to do
He
with
made
me
it.
for the rest of
There
the
was
night.
a spell that he did that made it rain in game, and he's like, he can make it rain.
I was hyped by that shit. I was so shocked. I'm like, yo, this guy's a god, bro. Like, there's no fucking way. The game, and I would never play that game though. That's the thing. Like, I won't ever put time in it. But watching
You don't
somebody
play
play
anything,
it, I
but
enjoy
okay,
it though.
thank you.
I like watching people play certain games.
I love this meme. Just Tony doesn't play any video games. My favorite meme on this podcast.
That's crazy.
Some people would say he's a fake gamer.
He's posing.
Been playing game my whole life. Game of life. How about that? Anyways, so Steven, I did want to ask you a question. You're just a natural RPG guy, I'm assuming? Like,
No, not at all. Actually,
No?
I only love Pokemon. I love Pokemon, and then every other RPG, it's like you've got to have that 10 out of 10 masterpiece for me to even try it, which was like Persona 5. Like, there's not
Chained
many others.
Echoes?
Chrono Trigger. I started Chained Echoes, but then for some reason I ended up buying the Castlevania Advance Collection and been playing that, and that's been a bit of fun. Yeah, no, I'm an action adventure guy. So like,
okay.
give me from the dumb stuff like Uncharted to like the really, obviously, your Zeldas and any Metroidvania really. Yeah, that's my. I like jumping. If it has a double jump, I'm gonna like the game. Like, yeah.
Oh,
Let
so
me
like,
say something sacrilegious, okay? Because I'm also one of the biggest Metroidvania fans around. The Hollow Knight thing, I didn't love Hollow Knight. Everybody loves Hollow Knight.
I actually really like Hollow Knight.
Can I drop a poocho and say you are bugging?
I hated the
and that is
map in
literal for Hollow Knight. Oh, the map is amazing.
I enjoyed Hollow Knight.
It's like
Hi-Fi Rush, really good, man. I just started checking that one out like 2 days ago. Enjoying the hell out of it,
Nice.
and it has a double
Yeah,
jump.
Ooh, yeah, that intrigues me because I love the cel shaded graphics. The only thing I was worried about was if the combat was going to be too simple. Because like when they showed it off, it looked like it was kind of like a 3-button combo kind of thing. So that's my biggest. Yeah.
The
Running the
combos
line
are
point.
the combos are definitely a little simple as far as like you're only pressing like 2-3 buttons realistically, right? But because of the timing aspect, I think that ups the difficulty level a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, like just adding timing to stuff just makes it so awesome. Like just thinking about Dowie with Super Mario RPG. Like adding that element of timing
Yes.
to turn-based combat is fucking awesome.
It's
That
it's
super
bright.
jump, you
it's
can
such-
land
it's
it
such a
every
s-
time. You could keep going infinite.
It's such a smart idea too, though, because it freshened up the combat system a little bit. I mean, I love Chrono Trigger, but even the combat in Chrono Trigger is a little samey. You're doing like the same
Yeah.
3 spells, 3 techniques over and over and over again.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. At
That's
some
why I
point,
like
you got to just...
Suikoden, like kind of refreshed it as well.
Suikoden it was dope because it'd be like you'd input all these commands and then everybody's just jumping around doing all these attacks at the same time. It just you're like hitting a guy and someone's in the back hitting them with arrows. It just seemed like you set up like a it's like everybody went to the huddle in a football game. They called the play and then when action hits, everybody's like executing like it would in a real fight. And it seemed crazy, and I loved all the times you'd like attack and then it'd do these like random zoom ins and stuff. Suikoden looked so incredible to me. Like I love that shit.
Yeah. Now, Steven, are you a fan of, or have you ever played Minecraft at all?
My son's a big Minecraft player,
Let's
so
go.
I've been making over the last like month like a labyrinth for him to go through. So like. I have no idea any of the systems of Minecraft other than like ladders and shit. So pretty much my idea of making a labyrinth is literally a maze with some ladders and some underground sections and some lava and shit like that. Like he told me that you can use like water on like lava and stuff so I can put it out. So I put like a trap where there'd be a bunch of lava and he has to put it out with water to get through and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's my main experience with Minecraft is just playing with my son a bit. Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't wait
cool.
to get to that level where I can play games with my son, show him how to get a decent headshot up close with a sniper rifle. We don't do this hiding shit. All right? I'm still a little hot about that.
Tony puts a 20x zoom on his rifle so he can kill someone that's 5 feet away.
Yeah. You got to have options, man. You got to have options. But that's cool. So, if you don't mind me asking, how old is your son?
7. Yeah, so he's been playing since... He was 3. We got him a Switch because he was grabbing my Switch and freaking watching YouTube on it and mucking around with it. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sort of sick of this bullshit. So I'm getting his own Switch. And so, yeah, so I got him a Switch. And he started out with like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. But he's played, God, he's got to finish like 20, 30 games in 4 years that he's been gaming or something like that.
That's awesome.
And,
That might be a higher... That's more games than I've completed in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he's pretty awesome. And then my daughter's just gone 3, so she got her Switch at like 2 or 2.5 or something because it was like, oh, she's interested because he's playing, and so she's played mostly just like Animal Crossing and a few other more lifestyle chill games, but she loves Mario, and yeah, so she'll like just boot up. I think she's put in like 20 hours into like Mario 3D World or something like that. Like, yeah.
Your wife was not ready for the gaming family she was about to go.
No, I got her a Switch Lite as well, so we've got 4 Switches in the house.
You
so
converted the family.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I've tried. My daughter's 3.5, and I've tried sitting her down to play games, and she's just not super into it. Like, she tries a little bit, so I've been trying to think like, all right, what the fuck are the training wheels of games? Like, what games do I need to like get her into to kind of start, getting her to play games?
That's easy. It's Elden Ring, Guitar Hero.
No, not Guitar Hero. You gotta go Guitaru Man. You gotta go a bit harder than that.
Guitaru Man.
No, but yeah, the Mario Kart 8, because it has self-drive and also like an autocorrect on the steering, is like, it's phenomenal because that's just a concept that some kids just can't get originally. Yeah, maybe they know how to hold the A button, but they don't know how to turn. Or they know how to turn, but they don't know how to hold the A button. They can press it. Because I for the longest time, I was telling my daughter, hold it down. And she didn't understand what hold means. Like, she's holding the controller. And then, like, yeah. Even I thought that they made Switch Sports more difficult because for some reason you have to hold the button the entire time while you're bowling a bowling ball. And so my daughter, it would be her turn. And luckily they have also simultaneous mode where everyone can bowl at the same time because, God, I'd have to go over there and hold her button for her and, like, throw her arm because she just can't get it.
Oh.
Awesome. Yeah. I do think, though, they do need to make that more into, like, for my son, he watches me play Mario Kart, but he loves Super Mario. like, I don't know what it is about Mario. All he wants to do is jump and spin. That's all he wants Mario to do. And to me, I'm just like, why do you love this so damn much? Like, I don't know.
The one moment that I thought was really cute was you were jumping on a flower and he would do the spin move, and Luca would go ape shit every single time you bounced on the flower.
Crazy. And I'm just
like
damn.
that's the thing. They know some cheat code because, first of all, like the music is phenomenal. Like, and that isn't in straight away, and it's super colorful, and all the games are gorgeous, and just kids love it. Like, there's nothing more than that. It's just, it looks good, it sounds good, and it's simple. Like,
there's a reason why that Super Mario World intro cut grabs so many people. It's like so many colors. It just works. It was such a beautiful intro to a game.
It's a bit bullshit to have like Bullet Bill just fucking shoot you in
right
the face though, right at the start.
Is gatekeeping a good thing or a bad thing? A lot of people have some grime, some issues. What do you think, Steven? Think it's a good thing to do or what?
So it's definitely not a good thing to do. Obviously, more fans of anything is a positive thing. It means that you can have an existing anything. Like when we're talking about video games and like things like Konami, it's like all of those games are actually quite niche and the fans don't realize it. And if they're gatekeeping other people away from playing it, like that's the reason why a lot of that shit doesn't exist, is because it's not as popular as you perceive it to be, just because you're in the community. But and this is like it's very situational. But one of my favorite bands or hip hop groups when I was just getting out of high school was Bliss and Esso, and me and my two best mates, the Three Musketeers, we went down to go see them and went with my girlfriend, and we were second row for this show, watching all the watching all the pre-shows, watching a couple other really good rappers, Peasant 360 beforehand, and then they've just about to come out, or they've just come out, and I'm holding on to my wife's shoulder, and just these teeny boppers that have just got caught the wave of the newest album. You know, the ones that are like, oh, I love this band, they're my favorite band, oh, what's your favorite song? And it's like the newest track that just dropped kind of thing. There were so many of those people there, like, obviously, and because they had different phases of their own, like group, like, their whole group name is Bliss and Esotericism, which is BEI for short. But in the newest album, they'd been saying BNE, and everyone was saying BNE, and so I just knew that they were, like, in a sense, fake fans, or like new fans, which is nothing wrong with a new fan. I was a new fan at some point, but it was the culture. It was the fact that they were 16-year-old kids and they were doing it because it was popular at the time to go to this show, and they were trying to push through my girlfriend and I. And so I'm just holding it, and then so there's just this little fucking C word that I won't say for you American ears, and she just starts laying me out in the back, just fucking punching the shit out of my spine, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I just didn't react. I'm just like getting the shit beaten out of me, and my wife turns around, my girlfriend at the time turns around, and then she just goes fucking off, and then there's like 4 girls just show up, start pulling her hair out, her thumbnail got ripped off, my hat got stolen, so then I'm trying to get one of these girls off of my girlfriend, and because I am a guy, somehow, pushing a girl, I get grabbed by security, thrown, ejected from the freaking whole thing. My girlfriend had to jump the railing to escape herself. Like, my boys got in and got between the girls, and she was able to escape. And then I had to fight my case to get back in. Like, I was showing my freaking my luckily they had, like, paramedics and stuff outside, so my wife got all bandaged up, and then we're trying to go back in there. No, you can't go back in. You got kicked out. I'm like, no, this is bullshit. I want to freaking see the management and shit. So we ended up getting back in and getting to watch the rest of the show, but it kind of ruined what could have been the best night ever. Like, turned into like a kind of sour, and that's where that's the only reason why I've got any sort of gatekeeping mentality of just like, if you're going to enjoy something, you have to be open to the community that existed before. It's like, you're not going to go to a hardcore show and get really shitty that people are fucking in the pit breaking each other's bones, because that's a hardcore show. Like, that's what you're there for, is to get in the pit and get a bit fucked up. Like, so know the culture, know your audience. Like, because going to other hip hop shows, I'd loved going to smaller like venues and stuff, but this was a big venue. It was their first show that they were doing to like 2,000 people. So It was just as they were just about to pop, from going from 100 people, 250 people clubs to going to thousands of people. And now they do arena shows in Australia and shit. So they're way bigger. But like, yeah, it's just like the vibe of a hip hop local show was what they wanted it to be, and what they were still preaching. Like, they always preach peace, love, and unity, and yet I was getting fucking punched in the spine.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's nuts. A lot of people call that, like, right now, like TikTok. When TikTok discovers stuff, like with Steve Lacy, you can look up shit with him. Steve Lacy had...
the people sung like the first like verse or something that didn't know anything else.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
No,
Yeah,
but
I personally would have been laying them girls out. All right, if I'm getting attacked, I will fight with the full force that my body allows. All right, especially if my wife is getting. You're a better person than me, all right? Because I would have been going ape shit in there. So.
You wouldn't have gotten back into that
show.
show
I
afterwards.
would not have gotten back. They would have been like, that guy was an aggressor.
Like, he just started punching people that weren't even involved. He punched 20 people.
they got too close. Bow! Right hook. Gotta go. That's awesome.
He punched the band. He bit them.
So, and I didn't know that you guys. So how like you went from 100 to 1,000 people, 2,000 people coming to a show, and you guys were just jam packed in the center area. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. So the place is called Festival Hall. It's an old it's an old boxing ring. So yeah, so it's a good size hall, like good size hall and stuff. Has amphitheater and everything like that on the outsides, but we were just in where the boxing ring would be.
Well, no wonder you was getting jabbed.
It's the environment for it.
Yeah, no,
I think I've got a similar opinion. Like, music is the only thing that I kind of gatekeep for. And it's the same kind of thing. I've had experiences at shows where you're stuck behind that annoying asshole that's just screaming at the band the entire time, like, play this new song. And it's like ruining the experience. I never got him punched in the spine at a show like that, but
I wasn't into it before. Like, my wife got me into like more like modern pop bands and stuff. Like when I started going out with her, and we went up to a show in Sydney for McFly, this British like pop band, like boy band group kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it was so, I absolutely fell in love with them, respected the hell out of them when I saw them play, because they were sweating their balls off. They were freaking playing as hard as they could, even though they'd play in like O2 Arena in freaking in England, but then they'll play into like 350 Aussies or whatever it was, and they're still going all out. But then in the corner, because they're like this pop band like that plays to teeny boppers, there was like these 12-year-old girls that are like, I love you and get me up on stage, and I'm just like, oh, that's so weird, dude. Like, so creepy.
That's fucking hilarious. But I gotta admit, yeah, when it comes to music, it's a lot easier to feel like you're righteous and like you're gatekeeping.
Joey it might be king gatekeep when it comes to music in our little group.
Yeah.
How many arguments about whether something is drill or not have there been? How many arguments have there been about, oh no, this beat is that's not a drill beat. That's something else.
The only gatekeeper worse than Doey is Tony. Tony doesn't realize he's a gatekeeper. Anytime anyone, this is gatekeeping, right? Anytime anybody brings up an artist, he'll be like, I found that artist first. And you're like, what? So you can't say anything to him. Like he's keeping you out of whatever the fuck opinion you're trying to share with him. He's like, no. I discovered this guy. I put you guys on that music, okay? I've never understood that methodology. Like,
very controversial. J. Cole.
My sister put me on J.
discovered
Cole.
J. Cole when he was still making music out of his mama's bedroom or something.
Nah, my sister put me on that. Stop playing. Y'all boys love to flip.
Okay.
This is their problem. They love to flip and do all this
No.
shit.
You say your sister put you on, but you put everybody
You put
else.
I
everybody
put the rest of
You
y'all
put
niggas
everybody
on.
in
Yeah,
North
yeah, yeah. I
America
put the
on.
rest of y'all niggas on. Yeah, yeah, for sure. She put me on, but I put y'all on. That's how it is.
Tony's part of the street team.
I mean, music
The
is
funny
probably.
thing-
What?
The funny thing is that Dowie tries to gatekeep mumble rap, but we just don't know what he's saying.
The funny thing is, gatekeeping is definitely strong in music culture for sure. I don't know what else anybody else would really try to gatekeep that like go hard.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, music it is something that like the younger people would listen to like the mumble raps, like how you would say, or like the young upcoming drill guys that just all that shit. Like I like a
know
little bit of
what?
lyric.
You know
Music
what was
is culture, so of course you're gonna gatekeep it, and it's like a lot of cultures are still like because of in different places ghettoization and shit like that, where you are in community hubs, culture is gatekept.
the one other thing that I could think that is super gate kept in like our culture and American culture is fashion. Letting someone know where you bought something is like, nah, don't tell them. Don't tell them where you cop that shit. Don't tell them what brand it is. Just let them like it.
Damn, you just brought up another gatekeeping shit. Hunters, they're fucking gatekeepers. They don't want you to know where the fuck they get the best kill at. That's a thing for sure. People used to. I remember I used to go hunting. I tried it out. They would tell you, "Oh, I got this badass fishing spot," or "I caught this badass gator on this side," and then they'll be like, "Oh, but I can't tell you where." It's like, what the fuck? Like, why does it matter, bro? You already got the kill. Like, what? Like, but yeah, gatekeeping's in hunting. That's insane. That's crazy.
It's a weird example.
Here's the one that I thought was interesting. This came up, I think it was last year. I forget if we talked about it on the show or not. But there was this conversation on Twitter, especially on leftist Twitter, leftist Twitter in particular, where there was a person that was a reformed Nazi, reformed skinhead, reformed white supremacist, something along those lines, that they found out had become part of like this leftist Twitter culture. And there was a big argument about whether Nazis can be reformed, whether they should be accepted as part of leftist Twitter. I think it started because this person had been called out for being a Nazi previously. And they were like, you guys are gatekeeping leftist culture. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be reformed. I'm trying to be part of the conversation. And people were saying, fuck you. You're a Nazi once. You're a Nazi forever. Get the fuck out of here. Blah, 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 whatever. I thought that was an interesting one. I wasn't entirely positive where I landed on it.
Yeah. There's this thing, I think it's in most people's mind. It's like, if you didn't receive any sort of punishment, then did you really reform? Like, which is weird because it's like, well, that means yes, they if they did and they came good, then like they went the path of least resistance, which we want everyone to go on, because we don't want people to become killers or whatever the fuck ever, do hate crimes and bullshit like that. But then you worry, did you do hate crimes, get away with it, realize it was bullshit, never got punished for it, and then want acceptance and be like, look, I'm getting all my shit lasered off and all this sort of stuff, not wearing those fucking Doc Martens anymore and all this bullshit. But like, but yeah, it's just that question. Like, it's a hard thing because obviously everyone wants to think that they are forgiving, but we all know it doesn't matter how long it goes. Like, there's always that fuckwit from high school that you're like, I still fucking hate that cunt. Like, oh, sorry, I used to see what. I don't know if you can bleep that out or not. But like, it doesn't change sometimes. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm over it. I've got a life and moved on. But I'd still like to punch him. Doesn't matter if they're a great family man as well. Like,
He's got that punchable face.
You're not even lying. You're absolutely right.
But no, back to the gatekeeping. I don't know. I want to know who. You think they just invented it? That someone just invented it, or it's just a natural thing that happened, and then people just gave it a fucking name? Because I just don't see. I don't.
Well, like, just think about it. It's not an invented thing. It's literally like you have a city wall and someone comes up and says, "Can I come in?" And you say, "Fuck off," because we're closed for the night. You can come in the morning and we'll see your papers and we'll see if we want to let you into our town for whatever reasons you want to come, but you're not coming in.
Yeah. It is more of an elitism thing, like country clubs and Equinox in New York.
And in like a lot of it.
And there's a lot of things like that. You get it in all kinds of cultures too. In hipster culture, you check the other person that you're meeting, and you're like, oh, where do you go to for brunch? And then you're judging whatever answer they give as far as like their brunch spot, their dive bar they go to. Yeah. You're thinking like, that's not really a cool place. I don't like the vibe there. He's paying $3 for mimosas at that place, and I'm paying $2 at my dive bar brunch bar.
That's not farm to table. That's not farm to table.
If the brunch spot doesn't make a good eggs Benny, it's not a brunch spot. That's all I can say.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the eggs Benedict. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, you probably got shit ones, so that's fine. Like, it just means that you can mark those places off the list.
Yeah, you might have a point.
I'm with Tony on this one. I've had some eggs Benedict. They're okay. My wife, every time we go out to breakfast, it's the eggs Benedict. And I'm like, don't you get sick of this shit?
No, it's like, well, in Australia at the pubs, you always start with the chicken parmigiana because you want to see where the quality is. That's the base level quality. And it's like, if that can't pass the check, then nothing else will. So that's what the eggs Benny is at a brunch place. It's the check.
Very nice.
I like that. I want to go back to the reformed Nazi thing though. I'm of two minds of this, right? Because like you guys said, right? Somebody who seems to have like internalized the fact that they were a bad person or they thought the wrong way and they're trying to change and all that kind of stuff, and they're making moves to turn their back on that ideology. I think that's a great thing, and we should reward that. Like we want to incentivize people to walk away from that as well, right? So it's like the gatekeeping is doing a double bad, in my opinion. It's like it's just bad, period, because I find gatekeeping to just suck. But then it's also bad because then they're the people that would want to switch over, and now they're like scared that someone's gonna dig up something from my past, and it's like now I lost the Nazis and I lost the regular people. I'm just fucked. I'm like stuck between these two worlds. So then it's like I think you're gonna disincentivize people from trying to change their ways.
Yeah, and that. There's obviously different levels. Like, obviously, I don't want to hear, like, fucking Kyle Rittenhouse be like, you know what? Killing people is bad. I just came to that realization. Like, and then everyone's like, oh, well done. Oh, my God.
Then they make him a co-anchor on a CNN.
Yeah.
But I mean, to a slightly different example, right? Even when punished, I don't think people care. I think they still wouldn't want those people around. Like, and that's why I say I'm of two minds, because like I want to be forgiving and all that stuff, but deep down inside, I'm not that forgiving. Take someone who like abused a child in some way. It's like I don't care how much time you did. I don't care how much time has passed. I'm not gonna leave my kids around you. It's just not gonna happen like ever. So it's like it doesn't matter if I think they're changing their ways or what. It's like deep down inside, I'm just never gonna believe that you're not the person that did that thing. And that's I don't know. That it's kind of hard because I believe I'm a forgiving person, you know what I mean? But like I know that there are ways in which I'm not a forgiving person.
Yeah, like that's the sad truth is like we're only going to accept a reformed drug addict if he was only self-destructive. Because why the fuck? Well, like, why am I ever going to trust you again if you could fucking let your kids starve or fucking whatever? Like even animal abuse and bullshit like that. Like it's like. No, like I can't accept that. You can go and just go be a fucking martyr and whatever and go be a monk, but just fuck off from this town or whatever. Like go elsewhere and restart. If you want a second chance, fuck off is the easiest way.
Man, and the internet has made it so hard to just kind of fuck off and restart though. It takes one Google search and you find everything you need about a person.
Yeah, I think that shit is crazy. You got like this 45-year-old person, he's trying to get into politics and shit, and then someone digs up a picture from when they were like 16 years old and they did blackface, and they're like, well, this person's a racist forever. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, they were 16. Maybe they did some dumb shit. Maybe they are racist, but the whole digging things up and trying to
and like, yeah, I obviously think it's like, there's probably where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. But like, because one of the more right wing premiers of New South Wales, they dug up his 21st photo, and he was dressed up as Hitler, of course, because of course you would be when you're a conservative. And it's like, that was 20 something years ago. He looks like he's freaking 50 something year old dude, so it's probably 30 years ago or something. But it's still like, why does this fit so well? Like, like.
There's
I
times when you dig things up, and I'm like, it checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, people can still be forgiven. I mean, I don't know about the child part that you gave an example to. Well, that's contradicting what I'm saying. People can't be forgiven. I just don't know. I just think it's just a person, I guess, like in their experiences. But
I like the idea of forgiveness. I like the idea that you can find redemption from anything. But man, the reality of that and the burden of actually like taking that on as a person to be willing to find that forgiveness for someone, that's tough. That's something I struggle with every day, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I want society as a whole to embrace forgiveness and move away from like this punishment style of justice and go more towards like rehabilitating people to be not pieces of shit. Even though that may contradict with what I would personally do in my personal life with people if someone like wronged me and shit like that. Like, I know that the way that I am isn't the right way to be, so I want society to be different. And maybe that's kind of a cop-out that I get to just do what I want to do and then try to force society to be the right way. But I think the world would be a better place for it, So,
but I feel like thinking about it, and it's like, say, if everyone that's averagely normal follows 99% of the rules, speeds, whatever, does drugs and shit, is at 0. And then you go to like minus 100 because you fucking went Nazi. And I'm thinking about American History X in this case. The reason why we can at least give any sort of forgiveness to Edward Norton's character is because he tries to save his brother from the same bullshit that he went through and believed and took him on this destructive path. And like, that's the only reason why we can feel any sort of sense of empathy, is because he doesn't want the same bullshit that happened to him to happen to someone else. And like, obviously they add some heartstrings into it of like, like father, like son, like he had an abusive, racist father, and that sort of led him down that road. And he was like more of a moderate or even semi-conservative person when he was a younger kid, but semi-liberal person when he was a younger kid or whatever. But yeah, like, you have to go beyond 0. You can't go to minus 100 and then go, oh, I'm good, I'm just going to go back to 0 like I'm a normal person. No, you need to actually be proactively fighting against the bullshit that you went in on.
I think that was a great example.
No, yeah, man, that movie, that's definitely a great example. I mean, you're built or molded one way, but you can change. It's never too late to change. Yeah, that's just... And that movie was fucking crazy. That curb stomp shit. First time I ever seen some shit like that on a movie. I was like, what the fuck?
And the sad thing about the elastic band of most people's like reactions to emotions is the fact that at the end, what happens, and then it's like, now what? Is he actually reformed, or what's going to happen after the credits roll?
Yeah, I think that movie did a really good job in like taking somebody that is a complete piece of shit, and by the end of it, you're kind of like on their side of things. Like, you're kind of rooting for this person to succeed by the end of the movie. I don't know. I think that's really cool. You just forget what like by the end you're just like forgetting that this person curb stomped somebody in a fucking hate crime.
And was just like openly racist to a guy that was just trying to help him out in prison like the entire time, and then barely by the end he's like, yeah, no, you're all right. Like,
yeah. My main, sorry, I was trying to remember what I was gonna say. My main concern with movies like that though are like, there are some Maybe it's just barely non-zero, but sometimes there's a significant number of people that watch these movies and they take the wrong message from this movie. Like I know for a fact that there's a group of Nazis that just fucking love American History X. Even though the moral of that story is saying being a Nazi sucks. It's bullshit. It's cult-like. It's gonna ruin your life and all that stuff. And I know for a fact there's a group of Nazis that just fucking love that movie, and it's like. I don't know. This shit's just disturbing to me. I don't know. It always makes me uncomfortable, like thinking about like edgy content. It's like Like I don't want to say it shouldn't exist because I don't know. It's it's the thing that evokes some of the most emotions. It's like things that piss you off or things that make you sad and things like that. But at the same time, it's like you'd hope that the people navigate this thing in such a way where like it's hard to misconstrue the message of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many movies like that, though, right? Like, how many people watch Fight Club and all they got out of it is like, man, it sure would be cool to start a fight club.
Every single 16-year-old just started a fight club. Yeah.
There's a 13-year-old fucking edgelord, and I was like, oh, this is so cool for all the wrong reasons, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, boys, for the last topic. But first, like my boy Steven said, you ain't liking it and you ain't subscribing it and you ain't ringing the bell, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Is that about the same way?
That's pretty close.
It's pretty close, right? He said it one time. I was trying to remember it. It was fucking catchy as shit, though. I like it. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, man. Check us out. Check the Great Game Debate out, too. Awesome podcast. These guys are obviously hilarious, as you can see. And hey, share us, comment, like, subscribe. Show the love, spread it. But yeah,
he said put 2 in the like, 1 in the subscribe, and then you can ring the notification bell while you're at it. Yours is just so fucking awful. Whatever the fuck. Steven is such a nice guy. He was like, that's what I said.
But I knew I botched it some way. So I was just looking for like some kind of whatever. Fuck you, Pucho. Always calling your shit out.
This is why Tony is the creme de la crop.
That's right.
Creme de la crop.
If you guys had to live in a video game, right, and and it had to be a specific level, what level would you not want to be in or live in? Or that you would want to live in?
Dire Docks. Give me that soothing just music just all day. I'll just hang out. I won't go into that water. That water's dangerous. There's a big eel in there.
You got that eel in there, yeah.
I'll just hang out right next to the water. I'll just listen to those jams all day, dude. That's all I need.
I didn't even think of the music. To me, the level just didn't come with the music. But immediately, I'm like, all right, I want the Bramble Blast from Donkey Kong right away.
Oh wow!
I will live in this thorny environment if I get to sit there and listen to Sticker Brush Symphony. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just and then you could just go barrel hopping. Who doesn't want to jump in a barrel and get shot up safely into another barrel? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the bugs at night though, that would just be terrible. Like you'd just be getting stung by shit. Yeah.
Yeah, listening to aquatic ambience, being able to survive underwater would be incredible.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. I've been playing Donkey Kong my whole entire life, and I'm like, there's fucking gorilla-sized bumblebees in this game. Like, that shit is horrifying. I just never even thought about that. Those things, imagine, that'd be horrifying.
The hive is their hive is the size of an entire house, dude.
Nah.
I mean, I think the music does play a good part in this too, because man, you're gonna be stuck in a world like, I'm gonna just say Pokemon Gold. I want to be stuck in that world. Without the music, shit, that would be the worst game that I think I would want to be stuck in. But yeah, I would choose any Pokemon game. Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon games are a good choice. That's a real good choice.
Ecruteak City, that's like all like it's like autumn or like fall. Like it's all got the nice fall leaves and stuff. Yeah, that'd be a dope place to see.
Wait. Actually,
Pokemon is cool.
Would the Pokemon games actually be a good choice?
No, you don't want to. You never leave town. Never leave town. Never leave town.
Because I was gonna say, Professor Oak gives you a Pokemon when you're about to leave the city because he's like, you're gonna fucking die out there if you don't have a Pokemon with you.
Yeah. No, you just gotta be shop owner only. Like, never leave town.
See, I think Pokemon would be cool because it's one of the few games that, you know, playing the game is fun, but living in the world would also be fun. Like running around, catching these Pokemon, training them up. It's like I don't know, something about it would be like a blast to do, especially if it's as simple as just go out there and just get your thing to keep fucking shit up. I'm reminded of a very weird. I had this friend, right, that just moved from the Dominican Republic, and he was like, "I need to raise a rooster." And I was like, you do not need to raise a rooster, all right? You don't need to do this. And I don't know where the fuck he acquired a rooster from, but then he just started walking around. He had a little rooster on a leash, and he was training this thing because in the Dominican Republic, they make roosters fight. Like, it's like a sport, right? So cockfighting shit. So he's like, I need to train this guy. So dude was going to, he's got the, just imagine the Rocky theme in the background. He's flipping the rooster on his back, trying to get this guy, trained up. And then this guy started finding roosters, like to fight his rooster. I'm like, I don't know. And I remember following this guy. We went to like this fucking like, this fucking like trailer park. This trailer park, and his rooster got fucked up by this trailer park rooster.
What?
And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't need to do. And he must have had a Pokemon-like experience. Is my whole point of this whole entire story.
I don't. The What Up podcast does not condone animal fighting, and we're not saying you could replicate the Pokemon experience by fighting animals.
True. Don't get the wrong message, okay, from my story. It's for comedy, all right? Don't go out there. Don't find animals to fuck up, all right? But I mean, you would hope that Ash Ketchum isn't a piece of shit, right? Like he's not just running around just fucking up all these animals that he's finding, right?
You mean Pokemon champion Ash Ketchum is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Champion.
Like, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of fucked up, right? Like, everywhere they go, they're just fucking animals up. Or maybe these animals are aggressive and they're attacking him. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know the situation in Pokemon.
Then you got to capture it. You got to beat its ass, capture it, then train it to you subdue an
enslave
animal.
it to his fucking hopes and dreams. This is kind of horrifying. I don't know.
What do you think it's like in those Pokeballs? Is it nice in there? Is it just energy? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's meant to be just digital, like energy kind of thing. But I
think
don't
it
know
has
what
to be
the
horrible.
The Pokemon Legends one probably was horrible because that was like in the past, and they're just like some mechanical trap that they're putting a Pokemon in.
And just squeeze them
I
down.
I think of two things that are similar, right? Genie hates being inside his lamp in Aladdin, and the ghosts in Ghostbusters do not like to be captured. So I just think of those two things. They're like similar to the situation in Pokemon. So I'd imagine the Pokeball ain't that. It ain't where you want to be.
Yeah.
They're not hanging out in there, all right?
I think you guys are missing a huge aspect of this world building is the food. And
So I wanted to bring that up. This is a weird one because it exists, but because you brought up music, I really want to live in Persona 5 because just the music is just so top tier. If I could just hear just like slow jazz, like as I'm walking around, like I'm a fucking movie, like, main character, and like all the food I'm eating is just freaking awesome Japanese cuisine. Like, hell yeah.
And you get to live in a harem, right? You get to fuck everybody apparently in those games.
Yeah, pretty much. A teacher if you want to.
Yep. I was gonna say Kirby because of the food levels in those Kirby. I was like, yo, this food looks delish. Look like they got all sorts of flans and all sorts of really good food. And
Kakariko in Breath of the Wild is so cozy. That's like such a cozy little village.
It really is. I really like that.
The food in Breath of the Wild looks good.
Yeah, you can make some good feeds. You can also make some terrible digitized mess if you fuck it up.
Yeah.
I would say to switch it on.
Food is the first thing I thought of, by the way, Dewey. The first world, I was like, I want to go to Cooking Mama. Like, think of a level. I just want someone to cook me. I was thinking overcooked. I was like, first off, it can't be overcooked. All that food's all over the fucking floor. It's an unsanitary mess. So I was like, maybe it's just Cooking Mama. But then I was like, I don't even know any levels from that game. So then I went with Delfino Plaza. From Super Mario Sunshine. It's like you're just chilling on the beach. Maybe you get attacked by some squids. There's some bullshit going on. but it's like the music is chill. People are lounging around. It just feels like, you know, you're gonna have a good time there. You know what I'm saying?
That is fire.
I do want to say though, Doom, Turok, Twisted Metal. I do not want to fucking live at all.
That's a fact.
Imagine
Constant-
being a pedestrian in Twisted Metal 2. Just having actual come around the fucking there.
Like nowhere near that. Fuck
Mr.
that shit.
Slam with his teeth and the fucking his big teeth. This shit is terrible.
Also, Fallout, any Skyrim, any Oblivion, any type of games where there's death in every corner. No, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want to live there. I don't want to be stressed out my whole fucking life.
I mean, Oblivion could be all right. Like Skyrim could be all right.
Yeah.
You'd just be a little town person. I don't know if I want to go and do all the adventuring stuff.
See those big ass dragons and shit that's all in those games? Fuck that shit. I don't want to deal with none of that. Hell no, it's stress, man.
I wouldn't want to live in a vault for like a short period of time just to experience it, you know.
I got
Fallout. Like it just be one of the residents of Vault 101. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Dude,
know.
all those vaults were experiments, though.
We did live it through the pandemic. That was kind of shit. Like the vault experience,
Right.
we didn't like it.
I got two good ones. Stardew Valley is a no-brainer. Who does not want to live in
Yeah.
Stardew Valley? You just
Can
farm
also
all
fuck
day.
anyone.
You can date anyone you want in that game. You
You
can
can fuck
have
even
your
more
farm.
people. You can fuck more people in that game than in Persona. So
Shit,
And the other one, Power Wash Simulator. Imagine if I could just make my life as a simple power wash man.
that's crazy.
Everything would be so simple. I'd see shit that's dirty. I go clean it. I make, $3,000. Done.
I don't know. So that sounded cool for a second, but then I'm like, then I have to live in a world where people just dirty their shit to that degree. What are they doing in that game? Just mansions, fucking subway stations. It's just pitch black. It looks like everybody took the biggest shit collectively, and then they're like, let's work together to smear it everywhere. Like, I don't know how anything is that dirty. It
That's
would be
job
fun to
security,
clean
baby.
it.
Yeah, for
The
real.
power washers hire fleets of shitters. They just go around and shit and smear.
A lot of the stuff in the Sims games would be cool to experience. Food and like living in that world would be kind of cool, I think.
To be able to just like sit there, just hitting strings on your guitar until you become a rock star.
Right? Ooh, fire.
That's so,
There's
that's so
guaranteed
interesting.
progression, right? Like you can't lose skills at
you
anything,
cannot
right?
lose, yeah. And you are just inherently able to learn everything.
I mean, that's a pretty cool feature, honestly.
Yeah.
That's interesting that like Doey's living life, but he wants to live simulated life. It's like when
Man.
Dwight Schrute plays Second Life, and then he plays Second Life inside of Second Life. In Second Life, he's a paper salesman, just like he is in real life. And then in Second Life again, he's a paper salesman like a fly. Because why not?
Yeah, nah. Goat Simulator might be a good one. Just be a fucking goat all day.
That
I've
sounds
never
all right.
played that game.
No, it's pretty funny. It's
You are
just like a
all
stupid
powerful.
game.
Yeah. It definitely requires like extra help with like inebriation to be really enjoyable.
You know what sounds like it sucks? Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, yeah, cool, but
Yeah, that
everybody
sucks.
there is. You feel like everybody has like a layer of stench on them,
Yeah.
and the food looks fucking terrible.
It's like, I'm just gonna eat this can of fucking peaches, just like
Yeah.
a can of beans. Put the fucking meat on sale. Ain't nobody trying to eat no fucking can of beans. Yeah, I would want to. We'll share the video for anybody who doesn't get the reference. I would love to live in Red Dead Redemption 2 just to experience the part at the epilogue spoilers. They're building that house. That just seems so fun.
That's chill.
my favorite
Yeah.
part of the whole fucking game, by the way. Is that
Like they didn't even
that
show the
last
wife
mission.
getting cholera during it and stuff, so they left out all the terrible parts.
Yo, I would not want to live in Silent Hill.
Hell
That
no.
alarm goes off every day. You gotta figure out where the fuck you're gonna hide.
That Resident Evil shit too. Damn, so many terrible games. That's like a punishment. Fuck that noise.
Bloodborne would be my worst because it's so wet.
Oh,
Everything's so fucking wet.
Everything is wet in Bloodborne.
Yeah, everything is just like slick. You could see it when you play.
Yeah.
As everything's just glossy. As everything is soaked.
Yeah.
Every
And
every
there's
step
just-
you're taking is going.
Yeah. And there's just too many tentacles for me. It's just not my thing. Wasn't the hentai route that I went down.
Nah, Doughboy, Pucho loves all that wet shit. He loves all the sound, the wet mildew smell. He loves that
Just
shit.
makes up lies.
You're just about to play the nachos right now.
No, yeah, I don't think. What was one of your worst ones? I don't think you said any worse ones, Steven.
Yeah, I was saying Bloodborne. Like I love that game, and it grosses me out. So it's why it's not in my top 10 video games of all time, because it just grosses me out. But it's a fucking fantastic game. But Jesus Christ, I would hate to live there.
I gave up on that game day one. I think I bought it with Pucho, and I played an hour, and I was like, nope, this is not for me. Too hard.
Trick weapons are just so good.
Yeah, that game's amazing. I dragged Doey kicking and screaming through like 60% of that game. He never beat it either.
I remember the day that I lost 4,000 blood souls. I was crying.
Only four. Man,
I
my
was like,
my
I
sweet-
lost 4,000 blood souls.
sweet summer child. When
Right?
you-
It was
when
like
you
right
lo-
in the it was right in the beginning of the game. He's like, I want to quit.
when you lose like your first. When you lose like your first $500,000, like that's when you like cry for a day.
I think the world of Dying Light could be a fun one to live in. Here's the thing: you live in Dying Light, you're guaranteed to know parkour, and parkour is cool as hell, and you get to drop kick zombies off of buildings. What more do you want?
And yeah, amazing cardio in that world, like really good.
Just
Just don't go out at night, and you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yep, just
Yeah.
beat me to it. Although, I mean, that would be great, because me and Pucho had a great time stomping the fuck out of zombies and that shit. But, I mean, to live every day in a constant battle, I don't know.
I want to
man.
live in Leisure Suit Larry's world.
That's crazy.
Now
The
that-
Magnum
yeah,
cum
man.
laude.
Like,
Facts.
I don't know. Like I was 16 once, and I know how bad my room smelled. I don't want that all my life. Like just to smell like a 16-year-old's room.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's completely agree with that shit. But no, yeah, I would love to see maybe all of us survive or live in a world of Stranded Deep. Remember that game we all played where it's stuck? Yeah.
No, he's talking about
massive-
the forest. Right?
massive-
Wait, was it the forest?
You
Yeah,
want
you're
us to
talking
live
about-
in the forest
should-
with
yeah.
cannibals?
That'll be-
Fuck that.
Are
I'll
you
be
talking
interested.
about the Metal Gear game, the Konami? What is that guy's name? Kojima game.
No, I'm talking about the forest, the one we played where we had to
Okay.
find our son.
I thought you were talking about the delivery game,
Delivery game.
Death
As the-
Stranding.
Oh, Death Stranding. No.
Oh fuck.
I wouldn't
that.
want to live there. I wouldn't want my enemies to live there.
I don't even want to play parts of that game. Like all the parts where you're dealing with BTs, that shit is hard. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate crawling slow and I hate it.
I don't even like.
If I had experienced that in real life, acid rain, that game fucking sucks. Everything about living there just sucks. I just wouldn't want it.
When you said crawling slowly, like I believe stealth optional is the only way to do stealth games because it's just too slow.
Yeah.
So this is a weird one, all right? But I'd like to live in Sleeping Dogs, all right? I just want to be in a place. I just want to eat mad Chinese food. That shit just sounds incredible to me. And the weird thing is, I could do that. I could just go live in a place, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, in a video game, you know what I'm saying? I want to eat. I want to meet the pork bun man who yells at you and tells you that a man who doesn't eat a pork bun is not a full man. I want to eat that guy's pork bun. I need to become a real man. I'm like a Pinocchio right now. I'm not a real man until I have that pork bun.
We need a full-on food episode where we just talk about food from video games. Because, like,
we
I'm
got
gonna tell you,
best
I
pork
don't,
buns in the state. Like,
I don't want to live in the Monster Hunter world. But I want to eat some Bunny Dango. I want to know what the hell Bunny Dango tastes like.
No, yeah, but I don't think I've. Shit. What game has the? Oh no, you already mentioned Overcooked with their shitty ass food on the ground. I'm trying to think of the other game we played with that's good ass food.
There's a lot of rules violated in an overcooked kitchen.
Yeah. It's like, would you like once burnt chicken? It's like,
It's just the chicken salt. It's just the chicken salt. Don't worry about it. It comes right off.
Just
I'm gonna
throwing
buy some
ingredients
chicken
across
salt.
the.
I'm gonna buy some chicken salt on Amazon. I already googled this.
What?
It said Australians hidden umami bomb. I need it. I need it. Okay, I need it.
I'm actually fucking gonna buy it for real.
As soon as it said chicken salt, I went to Google. I was like, "What the fuck is chicken salt?" And then I was like, "I want to hear from him." You know.
hell yeah.
Can you tell we haven't really met Australian people before?
Never.
We just had Australian questions of you.
That's all good.
Nah, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with us this far through the show, hit that fucking subscribe button, the like button, share us. Share us like some chicken salt on some potato skin disc. Share us. Also, don't forget to drop a like and share on the great game debate. Awesome guys. You know, show them some love, man. Support.
Yeah, Steven, if you got anything to tell the One Up fans about your show to get them over and watch, I guess our show to get them over and watching, please feel free to take a few moments here.
Yeah, well, yeah, we drop once a fortnight a new episode, so we've got one coming up in a week's time. So yeah, I guess be excited. But yeah, we had Mateo on recently, so you can track down that episode. It was only a few episodes ago. So yeah, but get amongst it. We have a lot of fun. We'd love to have more guests on as well. So, you know, doesn't matter if they're just from the community or from games industry and stuff. We get a whole bunch of different people on, and yeah, it's a fun time.
The guests are top.
I'm terrible at selling my podcast or selling it myself.
No, I think that was perfect. That was really good. Don't worry.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was actually most impressed about your guys' show is just the number of guests that you get, like, and especially like, you know, from like some popular like, you know, gaming websites and news outlets.
We've had IGN people, Game Informer people, Easy Allies. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's been incredible. So yeah, we're hoping to have some more guests this year. We've had a bit of a change of management, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, it's exciting times.
Very nice.
And as always, people, go one up yourself. Peace.
Peace.